Right. All right. What is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, Go Get Your Guy 231 across the Sorare industry. I'm stapling that. Who? Alex Hooper, Tilt City fame, Sorare first pitch fame. What other show fame?
Uh, is
Survivor of Hurricane Ian fame.
yes, yes, yes. We
I'm
are.
so glad to be here, man. All right, just like the expectations of having power and like internet for that matter on Monday to right now on Thursday morning is crazy.
Yeah, and I had the flu over the weekend too. So we were preparing for a hurricane while not wanting to get out of bed. And the fact
Did
that
you
it's Thursday morning and we're up and doing this is pretty
did
cool.
you ever play fantasy football on like DraftKings?
Mhm.
Um Peter Jennings on the show used to have like he would call it like the double dip would be like the defender and like way back when I think it was like Tyreek Hill when he was for the Chiefs was like a returner.
Mhm.
He was like double dip. So you had like the double dip or hurricane plus the flu.
Yeah, and I still got a headache. We're still emerging
Yeah.
from the depths of flu slash Hurricane Ian. So
I'll tell you what though. I'm we'll get this over in a minute, but you know, I woke up this morning, part of the screen is blown out, but like that just feels like a massive win in the grand scheme of what I'm seeing everywhere else. So just think, and for those that like don't know, like Hoop and I both live in Tampa. So on Monday we were supposed to be like flattened. So to be here on Thursday is pretty awesome.
yeah, I we went from eye of the storm to like not even being in the cone, which was great for us, but not so great for a lot of other parts of Florida. And
Yeah. I still this is probably like selfish, but Tampa Tampa has no chance if one of these things ever hits. Like
no,
it's really bad.
it's weird. It's like we have a force field around like Tampa proper. It's
Well, I
been
heard one. God, everybody's gonna be like, I'm tuning the hell out of this, but whatever. Like half this is just like therapeutic for you and I just to talk
right,
shit
yeah,
out.
exactly.
But somebody like saying like how the hit to like come from the Gulf to get to Tampa
Hmm.
has to just be like perfection because there's just all these other stuff that moves it. So
Yeah, 102 years now since
it'll
we got a
happen, man.
direct
It'll
hit. I know.
happen.
I thought for sure this would be the one because this is the one where I finally
It
bought a
felt different.
house.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. The one you buy a house is like the 100-year storm. Last hurricane thing. What was it a few years ago? I think it was like in the Gulf, the North Gulf, but they were like the 100-year storm, and it was like 300-year storms in like 3 consecutive years. And it's like,
Yeah.
can we keep calling this 100-year
Yeah.
storms?
Right.
Anyhow, glad to be here. All right. So your idea today, when I messaged you late last night, going, "Hoop, we might actually have power. Do you want to record something this morning?" Um, but what do we want to talk about? And you, as people can see on the thumbnail, is regrets specifically towards me. So why don't you elaborate and let's go from there?
Let's see. So this topic came up a couple episodes back. Uh, you kind of jibed PSU fans because
Uh-oh.
he was giving you some advice saying like you just here's some guys to go after an underdog, and you were joking they're like, that's like 2-3 Ethereum, and to put it out and hope to get it back in, that might be too big a loss or whatever.
I don't even think it
And
was underdog. I think it was more like at that time I hadn't done a move, a super rare move that made like obvious sense for my gallery. And the whole point was like it was a Christian Burgess super rare for those that don't know that aren't in the deep depths of Challenger Europe. I sort of like adopted Union Saint Coula. I think I'm saying it right. As like a team. And it was like unintentional, right? So you know this, but Teddy Teuma, I stumbled on. All right. So this is actually a fun story. Did I ever tell you how I stumbled on Teddy Teuma? Like
oh,
way early.
I figured it was from DFS
No, no. So
because I remember playing
what?
him for Malta when I was still playing, and I
Yeah,
remember you
but that
being
was after
excited
I'd
about
already
him.
I started I
Okay.
had already unlocked the legend, and like the first Malta slate came out, and like I went to our DFS chat, which you were playing DFS at that point, and I was like, guys, you don't know. but the legend has arrived.
And he
I
was.
think I think they lost like 5-0, but I think he maybe scored a PK or something like that, and we all went crazy.
He did
But
enough. I remember because we knew as soon as the game was over that you were right.
well, he actually there's a few of these guys, and it's obviously we're talking about football. We'll get to some baseball stuff in a while, but there's a few of these guys on the platform that just they check every box like that you want for scoring. Like they tackle, they take some sets, so they get the shots assisted. They do long balls. Like that's another thing. Like I watch USG a lot now too. Teuma will just ping these balls from the left side of the pitch all the way to the right, which you get points for. So there's just all this pinging, and all this you get points for. And then on top of it, he takes PKs, right? So you get sets, PKs, defensive work, like, and that works for DFS. That works for Sorare. But so here's how I found him. So, and I know this is like been talked about many times. It's like bad strategy, but back in the early days of Sorare, I was really, really about really bad strategies in my game, and so there was it was finally like I'd stopped just flipping and it was like playing SO5 and grinding thresholds and had won like one of my first decent rewards. I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of fun. I want to go more for this. And international break was coming up. I'm like, I don't want to go 2-3 weeks without playing. And then, you go and you look at like France or Germany and those guys, and they're like, if you don't even have an ETH to your name on the site, you ain't buying Kimmich's, even when prices were depressed at the time. So I started going, I'm like, all right, MLS is an India threshold team. I wonder if there's just like some weird, underpriced, low level teams, and stumbled at that time. USG cards were just on the platform. I think the first Teddy Teuma I've bought many since, but was like I'll have to look it up. I probably can. By the end of the show, I'll look it up. But early mint on him, I paid 0.07 or something like that. Yeah,
That's a beautiful.
and then he just started ripping off. Like not only like I had him for the international slate, but he just started going crazy. And at that time, when I finally sold him, like leading up to MLS,
Hmm.
because I wanted to load up MLS. I think I bought him for like 0.07, sold for like 0.4,
Yeah,
which
I
is a
remember
huge
that.
deal at that time. Yeah,
Hmm.
I was stressing.
Yeah,
I think
I
I
remember.
messaged you about that.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do
Like he's
remember
such a
that.
legend. I don't want to sell it, but
Yep.
this is like a huge net positive.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you
it's
have any
hard.
of that? Do you have any of those kind I know I'm going to departure from the topic, but whatever. Do you have any of those that like it was like such a big profit? It was like hard to sell.
I'm sure, like relatively speaking, it has been. And like when I decided to list my Bo Bichette was kind of that.
Oh, you did?
But
After hold on, I brought that
I
up like
didn't
two
sell
weeks.
him. I didn't
Oh,
sell him because he ended
different
up having
story
a
there.
yeah, he ended up having a 5 game week come up. So I was like, I gotta have him. Um,
I got a delist real quick.
yeah, I don't remember anyone football wise that's really happened with.
Okay.
The dude, is it Hiraguchi? No, that's the keeper. The dude I won from Hiroshima as a
Oh yeah.
T3 that was like very clearly a T2, and then if I would have held on to him, it would have been a
I mean, that
reward
would have
that
been legendary, but at the
yeah,
time, see,
I
like
needed it.
that's like the hardest part of Sorare for me because I have a few of these recently where like the value of the guy, in my opinion, surpassed the like SO5 equity for me.
Yeah,
And it's like, at what point do you just lock in the game?
yeah.
Because like I had it with Wendell, who I so do you do this too? Once I sell a guy like that, I don't look back.
Oh no, I absolutely look back at everyone.
Oh man, you're a glutton for punishment.
Yes, completely,
What?
especially
Why?
on this
Why do you
platform.
just sit there and just like I should have done that? Like no, like I will not pay attention to the auction. I will not search the guy's name. I like if I see him as I'm searching for a player, I will just pretend he didn't exist.
No, dude,
I don't want to see.
I look at my lineups every week and I'm like, oh, if I would have just put this guy in for this guy, I would have
Whoa, whoa.
been a tier one. And
Yes, of course.
but but I go into it knowing like my decision making is not like complicated. I look at the projections and I pair people
Right.
together. Like if the projections would have popped him higher and I would have put him in that lineup and
But
would have
that's
won the
that's
tier
back
one. But
to the that's back to the Brandon Staley little debate. Was that last week? The
yeah.
data,
Hmm.
like pick your process, right? Didn't somebody in the Discord, didn't that come up in the Discord? Somebody was like, I did the whole team based on your projections, Alex, except for this guy, because I have a
Yes.
really good
Yes. Yes. That I think that was our boy Xenophanes. He really liked JT Real Muto last week. And I warned him that he might sit on Sunday, and then I think he did. But I think his Xenophanes has been killing it, and he's doing great right now. So yeah, it's that sort of thing. But yeah, not even changing my process. It's just that I go back and I look at my lineups and I lament all of these individual decisions, even though like my process wouldn't have changed. I know exactly why I played each player in each spot, so it's not like that. But I do it with everything. I do it with players that I sold. I do it with whatever. So, um, yeah, yeah, I'm guilty of that completely.
yeah, which is only natural. Quick pause. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, just
All right.
just lamenting. Yeah, yep.
So lamenting continues, but yeah. So like the process, like the Brandon Staley joke with, switching your process up. We've all done it. So we'll go back to the before tangent on how we got to Teddy Teuma and stuff. So anyhow, um, I wasn't pulling the trigger on Christian Burgess super rare, who's like their best defender, who's actually like an absolute here. I'll pull it up, but he's an absolute killer. Guy just drops like massive game after massive game. Um, and Sean was just like, Keith, you got to like just suck it up and do it. And the whole thing was people were off on their valuation of him, or I figured that they were too far off. That I wanted to pay at the time. I think his rare was like 0.3, 0.4, or something like that. And I wanted to pay 3x, 3.5x. I mean, the guy's busts out massive scores. And I wouldn't pull the trigger. So where we were going on that is Sean knew I had the ETH balance. You knew I had the ETH balance. I even was telling you, I'm like, hey, Alex, baseball's gonna start, just tell me what to buy. I'll do it. And never did pull the trigger. So what was your question was, do I regret it, right?
Not necessarily do you regret it. My question,
Baseball part, not just Burgess. I obviously got Burgess.
um, overall, my question was like maybe what made you decide to allocate those funds somewhere else or allocate them one way or another? Like at the time, it's worth contextualizing that like the baseball market was still whack.
Way overheated.
Yeah, and like right now it could be. I mean, I assume it will bounce back if we get the user influx and everything, and it'll go up. But like now seems like a really good time to buy. Um,
I
but
think
yeah, the
I think the
overarching
hardest
question
part,
was, yeah.
I see where you're going. I think the hardest, I pulled up an Aaron Judge price graph because I feel like Aaron Judge is probably question mark the best judge of, wow, I didn't mean to say that, but the best like marker for the baseball market. Would you agree,
Yeah,
disagree?
yeah.
See, like I think the hardest part to me is like when I was sitting here thinking about investing in baseball, it was this whole first like 2 weeks
Yeah.
when everything was insane because you had these judge prices like 0.45, like let's flip it to dollars, right? I think doesn't even look that much worse in dollars, but $600, $700, and these are limited, so you knew they were out of 5,000,
Yeah.
which I feel. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're more connected to that community than me right now. I feel like everybody knew this was insanity.
I
Or do you
think
think
so.
people? You think?
I think so. I don't know.
To me, it was like obvious that that was insanity. When you just
Yeah.
look at the serial number, you even look at like on the football side, what happened to like an Mbappe, right? Like let's look at Mbappe limited from the beginning, right? At
Oh,
this
that's
point, we didn't
interesting.
really know, but then football grew, right? So now it's okay that's probably not okay. Jesus, three, not even a jersey man. Number 186 must be happy for that guy. My lord. But we this because of a huge influx of people that decided to hit the limited market, right? So that could
Hmm.
happen in baseball. But to me, it was just that like baseball was overheated.
Hmm.
And I think if I would have bought into that time, one, it might have been saddled with regret season.
Yeah.
But I might have caught in the bug, but I think the bug passed. Enough
Well,
football was going on that
yeah, that
it's
that was going to
just.
be my follow-up is like, do you see yourself getting into it at all, especially with NBA coming?
I think it depends on how good NBA is. NBA is like what got me into DFS. Um, I still remember my first ever slate, like what got me to go. I don't even remember what I was playing. I remember this vividly, hoop. But Charlotte, the Bobcats. Are they still the Bobcats or are they the
No,
Hornets now?
they're Hornets again.
Okay, they were the Bobcats.
Hell yeah.
And they like ruled out everybody. Actually, you know what I remembered? I had started FanDuel. Okay, I was playing FanDuel and it was okay, just a few bucks. Hadn't started DraftKings yet, and I wanted to play. This is just way deep in BA. All right, I wanted to play Wayne Ellington really badly. Okay, I think Bobcats only had like 6 or 7 players, but on FanDuel it's super rigid on an NBA at the time. You had 2 point guards, 2 shooting guards, 2 small forwards, 2 power forwards, 2 center or 1 center.
Mhm.
And I can't remember if Will Ellington was a shooting guard or a small forward, but I couldn't play him. Like I had 2 guys plugged in. I'm like, I need to play Wayne Ellington. And I see like a little draft game. I'm like, let me just check it over there. And he was like a small forward eligible. I'm like, holy crap, I can play my whole entire Bobcat stack if I go over to DraftKings. And I went over there and I won everything the first night. And I'm by everything, I put in like 20 bucks, but like 20 bucks became like 400 or 500,
That's all
in
you
the
need.
court, right? Great start. First day on the platform. Now I'm hooked.
Yeah,
Yeah, Wayne Ellington started this whole barrage.
that's my guy. I got a signed UNC Wayne Ellington hat.
He uh he really never could do anything other than just spot shoot.
Shoot. Yeah. He's still hanging around for that same
Is
reason.
he still?
So
Oh my god!
yeah, I think he found a team at
See,
the
I
end of
can't
last
wait for
year.
NBA for that reason alone. I'm shocked you're not more excited.
I'm I just need to know what to expect with the game. So like,
You just want to be able to. You just want Wayne Ellington to have you utility.
yeah, of course. Yeah, if Wayne Ellington has utility, then I'll play. No, so I have more Ethereum liquid right now than I've had in a really long time, like since the beginning of baseball, and I'm ready for it to launch. Also, I don't know if you know this, but if you participate in the MLB playoff competitions, Sorare said with their release that they're going to be assisting those players with NBA in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what that
Oh,
means. Yeah, it says like stay tuned for news and whatever.
meaning you have
If
to do these specific cards and then you'll get NBA
no,
help.
you have to play in the MLB playoff competitions.
Oh,
I'll look up the
all right.
medium in a second, but
I'll buy some cheap ass limiteds. Just that's the cool thing about limited in baseball right now. They're just so cheap.
did you see I bought 2 limiteds and got 4 playoff tickets?
I saw it, but so how does that working though? Like
I
what
don't know.
I saw the tweet. I saw you on for our first pitch tab, did that too. So I saw all the stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped there.
I haven't gotten an email from them yet. I assume they're waiting
I
until
saw
the
the like
actual
what you bought like or you found like one dude that was $2.
2 Jake Cronenworths I bought for 0.01 each. But yeah, there were 3 Sir Anthony Dominguez yesterday that were
Oh,
listed.
Sir Anthony, is he a
Sir
knight?
Anthony, yeah. Yeah, maybe. He's a setup man, but he's a knight. Um, so yeah,
What
anyway,
a name.
with the ETH I have liquid, we're all over the place today. It's like we've just been through a natural disaster or something.
It's all good, man. Makes better
Um,
content.
so I have the ETH liquid. I'm obviously going to wait to get into the NBA market because I don't want to pay
Right.
like
Well, we know the
have
first mints are gonna be insane.
yeah, my limited Kevin Gossman is I paid double what I paid for my rare Kevin Gossman. Um, and I could really use that 0.05 right now. But so I don't know how I'm gonna end up playing it, but the fact that I have Ethereum liquid and don't have anything to spend it on MLB wise yet, I figure I'll end up getting into NBA. It's just I don't know what we're gonna do. NBA basketball is my favorite sport.
Yep.
I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Um, I could go further if I wanted. I um I love it. It's just I don't see myself competing and I don't love having to wait for lineups. I loved playing NBA DFS once all of my players were locked.
Right.
But I
I mean,
hated having to like go back, and that won't be an issue with NBA because like it will
it'll
lock
have
when
to
it will
lock
lock.
earlier.
But I don't like the prognosticating lineups thing. Like that's just I don't like it in football either. I think that's the most annoying thing about football. The Sorare aspect is I don't like having to guess who's going to start. And you have to do it in baseball too, but like at least like if I start Jordan Alvarez or Jose Altuve or Kyle Tucker and they have a 3 game week and they play 2 games, like they can still put up a
Right.
winning score in those 2 games. But
Yeah, one
with
homer
NBA,
and
like
you're
the
one
margins are
homer and
so
you're in.
thin. Yeah, the
Yeah.
margins are
No,
just so thin in NBA that if you goof up on that, like you're buried. And I just don't know. I don't know. It's just gonna have to be a really good product.
I think there's a lot to break down there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you have to play because you're gonna love it and you're gonna I think the cool thing I was listening to I was on the roof hanging shutters. I finally got back to Nellis had on the first Mint guy, I can't think of his name. That was a really good episode. If you haven't listened to it, I definitely do. Um shout out to John for that interview. But he mentioned with Top Shot, there was like one thing that like stuck in my head from that like I can't separate from right now. And he said with Top Shot, he thinks there were so many people, and like part of the biggest disappointment was Top Shot. There's a lot there. You got a Top Shot at the right time, right? Like you
Yeah, I
timed it
took it all out
well.
and I put it in Sorare.
Okay, that's good. Solar exists. Top Shot's like
Dead in the
so.
water.
Hold on, I'm going on so many tangents. That's what happens. Like you said, natural disaster. But like Laird, I was messaging with Laird yesterday. He's like, "So is Top Shot still alive?" And I'm like, "I think my understanding is Top Shot's alive, but it's just people that keep it alive to talk about how bitter they are about what Top Shot became." Like, I won't sell because this moment at one point was $30,000 and now it's five. But he said about that the Top Shot community, he thinks one of the reasons that it kind of fell apart and what they didn't do well is people couldn't necessarily take their NBA knowledge and translate that NBA knowledge into like an extra return. So like I follow the NBA implicitly. I think that God, we already brought Sextown up. So let's say I think Colin Sextown is going to break out in Utah because they want him to.
Hmm.
So I'm going, and I think he's gonna have a big season. So I'm going to buy his moment, and this is going to appreciate throughout the year because my prognostication was correct, and that never happened. If anything, the longer you held a moment in Top Shot, the more often it was to depreciate in value because it's more and more supply happen. So he mentioned that, and like it was like that's what's so rare completely fixes and could
Yeah.
be a complete hook for so many people because if you do catch we know this in baseball and football so far if you get a guy and you just and a guy with an L5 no matter if it's baseball huge or football their price just shoots up
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
So if you
I
can nail that if you know that like I hate I really got to get off the Colin Sexton comparison like there's so many better options I just who what the Cavs.
he's gone, man.
So well, let's hold on. Let's just do the Cavs, right? So let's just say that I mean Donovan Mitchell is going to have a crazy usage throughout the year because they
Yeah.
paid a ton for him.
Yeah.
But let's just say that going into a week like that, like he starts the season off decent, right?
Hmm.
But all of a sudden, if Darius Garland goes down for a week, and let's say that you even though Mitchell's expensive, you buy into him, his usage is probably just going to go off the charts for a full week. Like he's going to go absolutely crazy running the point. Everything's going to be about him. And you could actually like use that knowledge to not only nail an SO5 lineup or two, but then probably to sell him at a new height just before the usage is about to drop down.
Right. Right. And
That's
I
what
don't
excites
know.
me.
I don't know. I like that we have the whole season to do that because I think if you remember, as soon as they announced baseball, I was like, dude, the market's going to
Too
be
late.
insane
Yep.
because you're going to have so many people who are like, oh, this guy got hot. Like, so I won a Brian Reynolds reward. Good player for the Pirates.
That guy with the mustache. Does he not have a mustache
He
anymore?
has he has facial hair. I don't know if it's just a mustache, but
Anyhow.
yeah. Um, he was supposed to have a great year and get traded at the deadline because he's on the Pirates and his deal was expiring and he was rough at the beginning of the year, whatever. I won him and he was going for like .02 and I held on to him and like last week he hit like 3 homers or 4 homers or something in the game week and I ended up selling him for .05 and like I don't know why anyone would buy him for that because the Pirates, one, are awful. Two, have a week left in the season, and I don't know what you stand to gain from that. Maybe they were just trying to put together a team. I don't know. But like the way that baseball is so random, like my first thought as soon as Bo Bichette had that week, it was like, I got to sell the guy now because like he's never going to
We talked
be
about that.
right. So I can see that happening in NBA pretty
Hmm.
easily, but it's going to be more news, like you said. But we also have the whole season to do it. Like I didn't have enough time to do that in baseball this year
And
because by the time the market came together and by the time the user base was like at its current peak, um, there wasn't enough of a window to like flip guys like that. So I would look forward to that in NBA, but I might not be playing a limited enough mint to really make a difference.
but you still can though, right? Like you can start low and build it up with that knowledge. Because like so, here's who just came to mind. All right, and now he's actually an established player, but you might remember this. You remember? I think he was playing for the Pelicans at the time, but you remember Christian Wood, or maybe the Bucks. It might have been the Bucks.
He's played
But at
for
the
so many
end of the
people at this
season,
point.
I mean, Christian Wood just gets passed around. Like
Pistons? Was he with the Pistons for a
it,
second?
it
Wasn't
might
he
have been
really
the
good
Pistons.
there?
I
Yeah.
don't remember where, right? But he became like a DFS like icon because at the end, I've talked about this before, but at the end of season NBA is just absolute bananas in
Yeah.
terms of like guys just shut it down. Teams are out. Like they just decide to shut it down, like all the young guys. But Christian Wood would get like starts, and we would like flip out in our DFS chat. We're like, oh my god, it's Christian Wood night, and wouldn't play the whole season, and then he would come in, and it would be like 28-12 and 25-10, and he still does that production, just not for like good teams. He does it in like losing scenarios, but you could have a guy like that you all of a sudden know buy into it, and he puts up two like just monster games.
Hmm.
It's gonna Brian Reynolds it,
Yeah. Right.
and then you're gonna get the benefit of using him for a little bit too.
Yeah. But will I win
But I think it's
anything?
easy to
That's my
project those.
question.
What's
That's
that
my
question? I'm
question.
sorry.
Will I win anything?
But so here's here's actually even like a better question that I constantly struggle with when I see all the moaning and complaining about Sorare with the impossible to win and all those things. Why does it why do you have to win?
Fun. I don't have
Uh,
to.
I mean, to me, but like let's just say like you have not won MLB. You
No.
have not technically won,
Thanks for
correct?
reminding me.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. But no, I'm asking because I know you had been close, but you have not technically won yet,
No.
correct?
No, I've still not won a T1 in
Okay.
either sport.
And having a hell of a fun time.
In baseball, yes.
Right. Hold on. Stay on track. Have not won. One question mark, but are winning. And I still
Yeah.
think that's the case in NBA. And like that's the case in football for me. I technically have one win. One.
My question
But
was
I
more
feel like
like
I'll have a lot more.
will I get rewards and like at all?
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. I don't know what the game's gonna look like. If it's an all-star, if it's nothing but
But
all-star the way that the NBA was on launch, I don't plan on winning anything. And I don't plan
I
on having fun.
I really need the lock to happen just so I told you so, or the launch to happen so I can I told you so on it. Like it is not going to be like that. I
No,
can like
I believe you. I just
yeah
want to know. I want to
yeah.
know what's going on there. I want to know what's going on in the offseason at MLB, which could just be
Yeah.
nothing. I would just like to know.
I was
Because at
just
least then I could be like, all right, I will just keep track of prices and buy in the winter.
so what do you want that tweet to be? I'd summer MLB, your notification comes up like announcement, guys.
We're not doing anything.
Nothing's happening.
See you next season. I don't know. Yeah, I get that. I get that, but at least I
That's
don't
funny.
know. Let me know. I don't know how you're gonna just like fade into obscurity for 4 months after this big push. Like, here are some playoff tickets. All right, bye. Like, at least I don't know.
Hold on.
At least
Sorry,
preview
almost.
next season. Give me an update on what you think you're going to offer next season. How about that? Because
What if they
I
don't
can
know?
I can get the clue. At least tell me you're going to do like an AL NL division or something like that. I don't know. Just throw me a bone.
You mean yeah, just like here's here's the progress bar. Here's the
Yeah, just tweet project or progress bar, and I'll just be like, all right, I guess nothing's going on.
so I think the funniest thing I was just thinking, as if anybody was watching, as I was having like a coughing coffee down the wrong pipe attack. But like with what you were saying, like just let me know if it's gonna end abruptly. I mean, they actually don't have to do that considering the season's over and there's no more games. That's kind of like
They don't have to do anything.
no, but I'm saying they don't have to announce that. Oh, by the way, we're not gonna make imaginary game weeks after the
No,
season's
no,
over.
no, they don't have to do that. They don't have to do anything. But if they would just say like next year we have these plan, even if they're just the smallest
Sure,
plans, just very
sure.
subtly be like, nothing's happening. Like, see you next season. Thanks for doing this beta with us. Hopefully we get some users next year and whatever.
Yeah, it's a great question because it's so unfounded territory because football just always goes. It's like, all
Yeah,
right,
right,
Europe's over, and now people are just sitting there debating like, do I actually want to get into MLS in Asia and Brazil and
right,
Argentina and all that stuff, or do I want to wait it out? But there's a clear path to the game weeks are still open. Like,
right.
what's you gonna do? And now, freaking, even for the World Cup, even when like all the main Europe dies down, World Cup's like ramping up. Now we got second division Spain playing through it like it's just never going to stop. So that is really interesting on the baseball side. Do you think that they ever? I don't know if I heard this. Do you think that they get like Korea League baseball and stuff, or do you think that's even?
Dude, that'd be awesome.
You think?
I
Did
love
you get into
KBO.
that on the DFS side during COVID?
Yeah, I won an all right amount, which is crazy because like I wasn't even playing
But
baseball,
like
right? Like I wasn't stacking or anything.
the lines for what like 3 4 a.m. to know if the pitcher was going to go or the hitters.
Yeah,
That was
and
wild.
I didn't wake up for it. I didn't play enough into it.
Played, yeah.
Yeah, I just was like, all right, hopefully this guy will start. And I would still win with a couple of DMPs, like min cash, I mean, with a couple of DMPs because like everybody had that. So
Right. Would you get up for KBO Sorare?
no,
No.
I
Set
don't
and
get up.
forget.
I don't. I mean, I wouldn't get up for.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't get. I don't get up for 6 a.m. lock.
as somebody that's had your a lot of J League and K League guys, you still aren't getting up. I just
No.
to me, I don't know if this is just like a sick person that I am, but like if I actually have somebody, it's like the easiest I ever wake up. I'm like 5 to check that my lineups aren't dead.
Oh,
Cool.
trust me, I would wake up at 4:30 without an alarm and be like, "Don't check your phone, man. You're not gonna get back to sleep." And then I would check it, and then I would sweat out a sheet that would get ruined in the 91st
Oh,
minute,
that's the problem.
and
Yeah, I
then
could see
not get
that.
to sleep because I was mad. That
So
happened plenty.
did I ever tell you like the single worst? Okay, it was like one of the worst like 1 month stretches of owning a player I've ever done on the platform. So like early on, like didn't have much ETH on the platform. First goalie I bought was I think it's Suwon Samsung something. Okay,
Blue Wings.
Blue Wings. There you go. And the dude that I bought is still the starter now. But at that time, he took over for this. Uh, I didn't even like look it up because it's just good. But it's like no dong something, and the
Yep.
dude was here. Hold on. Oh, look at that! Look at my guy. So this is the guy I bought way back when.
Nice 14.3.
Hold on. Let's see.
I
We can
actually
see
almost bought him.
we should be able to see myself somewhere in here. Oh no, I traded him. Okay. So anyhow, and he's never been that good. It's always been okay. But you see like all these DMPs and stuff. So the other guy that was in there was ripping off these massive scores and he took over. And I was just so nervous the benching was gonna come. So I started finding out that like you can go on to the Korean League's website and get the lineups about like 10 minutes before they hit like Twitter or server data or all that. But the trick is there's no like the Google Chrome won't translate the website. So it's just all in Korean. So I got to the point where I could figure out like what tab was for lineups. And I had no chance to read the guys' names, but I knew jersey numbers.
Yeah.
And all this, by the way, Hoop, is like the first week I remember at the game, I think it was like 3 or 4 a.m. And I'm like setting my alarm at like 1:45, praying that my wife doesn't wake up when I set this, going over and she just sees like Korean, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I have issues, sweetheart. I have big issues. And
Yeah.
I sold out of that because I truly do think that sometimes there's unhealthy scenarios that Silver puts us into that we just have to sell the hell out of.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll ever get back into Asia.
I I was personally shocked you ever that was the lane you
They were
chose.
cheap when I started, and
So
I
was
was just like, all right,
MLS.
this will be my thing. Not
So was
as cheap.
MLS in the time, and it's in English. I mean, the news cycle still sucks, but at least it was in English, and the time was okay.
Well, I tried learning Japanese. I got
And you
30.
decided to get on Leonardo.
That was a trade, and it worked out. It worked out for a
Enough.
while. I don't know.
The only guy I've
He started
ever
last week and put up an 100, so I'm sure he'll be on the bench because that's what they do.
two Japanese legends that I actually sold one of them because he went into bad form, but Sho Sasaki I've had all season, like the greatest fun player I've had in a really long time because he just starts, and if he starts, it's like 60. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the true guy that was fun though, this, Fukumori was so fun for a while.
I just
That
sold
was
him.
such a legend. And then they like started benching him.
Benching him, yeah.
And
I
then
don't.
the worst part though, this is the worst part about Japan League for like us, is you start trying to search Twitter to understand why they're benching him. No chance.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
No,
knows.
that's the thing is Leonardo was ripping off hundreds, and then they started bringing him off the bench for 3 weeks, and then his
So
price tanked.
so here's the funniest thing that brings up. I was joking with Laird about this again. And God, it was like some sort of like left back that he bought. And he tip topped it. Like I think he's the highest buy ever. And he immediately the guy gets benched. And the guy, but like the guy scores is like 57, 60, 64. And I hope Larry doesn't want me sharing this, but it's like, why the hell are they benching him? Like his scores are great. I'm like, but you should totally screenshot server data and text that manager and be like, dude, his scores are great.
Yeah,
I think we think just because the guy is like scored. This happens in DFS too. You know
yeah,
this. People will be like, man, Andros Townsend is amazing. He gets
right.
19 crosses a game. Why are they benching him? And you like go look and you're like, one out of the 19
Yeah,
crosses
right.
actually found a head.
One's going into Rosette, every other one's getting blocked off of someone's
but
calf.
but who? He got like 15 DK in
Yeah, I don't
65
know.
minutes. He's
That's what
amazing.
that's what
I think
wins
it
the league.
I do think it's funny we think that just because like their scores are good that they're doing what the coach wants or
Don't they
that they're
know he got a
playing.
double double?
Hold on, triple, triple. How do you bench a guy after a triple triple?
No, no idea.
And now we get to do it in the NBA. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Russ Westbrook just got a triple double for the Lakers. They
And
lost
it,
by
yeah, I was gonna
35.
say 40
And
point
he's going back to
loss.
the bench?
Come on, Darvin.
Oh God, Darvin here. Do you officially feel old, by the way, that all the players that you grew up with are now coaches?
I mean,
Darvin Ham, Steve Nash,
the fact that
Udoka. I know, tough scene for Udoka.
yeah, right.
But I'm trying to think of the other, like so many of the guys that I grew up with, like
Oh yeah.
collecting their
Well,
cards.
I went to LeBron's high school games, and now his
Ah.
kid's about to be in the NBA. So, and like
So I
watching Vlad
heard
Jr. and stuff like that.
I couldn't sleep last night. I heard that it's actually not like the oldest LeBron son that's best, but it's the second one.
Yeah, Bryce is 6'6" all of a sudden and taller than
They said he
Bronny.
like looks like his dad, but then
Hmm.
so Windhurst was on with Zach Lowe, which just I freaking
Your
love
guy.
Zach Lowe. Zach Lowe's just like we've never met, but I'm sure we'd be besties. But he was saying that like the problem though is the second what's it, Bryce? You said Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce.
doesn't like LeBron's first son has like a crazy motor, like busts his butt, but just didn't get
He's a
LeBron's
slasher,
like,
and he's like six
but
two.
he didn't get the LeBron gene.
Yeah, he can dunk, like he can get up,
Right,
but he's
right.
6'2".
He's just short. But then the other kid has like LeBron's gifts, but doesn't have like the drive. Is what Windhurst was saying.
Yeah, he's not as yeah. It doesn't seem like he's as alpha.
Right, right.
Bronny seems like he grew up having
I
to be
just
LeBron's kid. Bryce seems like he
it's crazy.
has gotten to be Bronny's brother.
It's crazy to see the LeBron, like you said though. Like the reason I was thinking of that is like LeBron was not filled out at all, like in high
Mm-mm.
school. Like he had the really really baggy the jerseys so bag. It's pretty thin, but like he's just killing everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Bryce
anyway,
can shoot. That's the other thing is Bryce is 6'6" and like he can spot up and shoot.
so
Bronny's
he'll play in the league.
yeah, if he wants to,
Oh, God,
but like he's
that's
any AAU videos I've watched. I don't normally watch AAU videos of high schoolers, but I'll watch them because I care about their well-being. And
dude. It's from your state,
yeah, but
but
he launches.
all right, we got way off the track. But
Yeah,
this is I can't
I
wait for NBA. I even if you like even if it's the exact game mode by the way that you don't want to see, I'm pulling you on here. We're gonna geek out. I'm gonna get you pumped regardless, okay? Because
if if you buy me an Evan Mobley, I'll play.
I will buy you the 32 of 10,000 limited.
Right.
That's
That's another
well,
thing.
what the cereals are gonna be.
Yeah, just I want to see if they do the same thing because like
I think it has to be baseball. Do you know a quick question for you? We have like 3 more minutes. Um, do you think baseball overshot the cereals?
um I bet they knew that they weren't going to max out in year one, but I think down the line, I think there's a perfect possibility of them filling that out pretty easily.
Okay, I'm just
I think,
curious, just because it's so big.
well, fantasy baseball, like to me, fantasy baseball is the best fantasy year-long experience. I don't like fantasy football, and I know a lot of people would say that it's that, but I enjoy season-long fantasy baseball. So and I think there's a lot of people who do, and it's just I think if we converted those people, I mean, I found a guy who I used to write for, and I was like, "Hey, man, if you just sign up for free," he was like asking about it. He's like, "You can just sign up for free," and he got back to me like super quick, and he was like, "This is like my thing. Like, thank you for sending this to me. Like, this is totally me." And I was like, "Yeah, I think if people could just kind of like figure out the barrier to entry,
Yep.
fantasy baseball is kind of obsolete with Sorare, in my opinion. But I
Oh,
understand traditionalists, but I think it's obsolete.
so I was thinking about this. So I'm doing the Andrews later
Hmm.
tonight, which will be way off the rails. So I'm getting warmed up to be off the rails later. But every night, but like if I'm doing content with you or somewhere else, I always like try to start like thinking about like points in my head before I go to sleep, which is probably why I
Hmm.
don't sleep. But I was thinking
Same.
about so it truly is the like exactly what we wanted as kids when we were putting baseball cards together, basketball cards, and you were just like, I don't know about you, but like I remember pulling a Tim Duncan rookie and like just the whole season, like watching Spurs games, like holding the Tim Duncan card. And like, but can you just imagine at that time when we were kids if like we could watch points accumulate because we had this card and like so rare is that it's just so cool.
I think the ability to own
Yep.
a collectible, whether in physical form or not, it makes such a big difference because it's a decision that you made.
Yep.
And as opposed to like you were given the option to draft this guy and then after the year he just goes back in the pile. But yeah, I loved having cards. I loved collecting cards and I remember brainstorming this exact type of format with my brother when we were in like high school. So the fact that it exists is
It's
still
awesome.
super cool.
it just makes it cool. But yeah, I agree. Like, so we'll go full circle to the topic that we haven't discussed in 45 minutes. And I don't even think I ever got through the USG stuff, which is fine. But I think where I fall in line with like the baseball, like basketball, football, like where you should allocate, because like your whole point of what you were going to bring up, which we didn't talk about it at all,
No.
but at the time, like had the ETH balance to get in pretty heavy with baseball, probably would be doing pretty darn well. I just wasn't having fun with
Oh,
it.
okay.
Like I was sweating, like I wasn't finding myself following along with box scores. Like it was just like the next day, it's like checking my football stuff, making sure I was ready for the game. Like, oh, I wonder if any of my baseball guys did well. And there was like just no real like sweat aspect to it, which for me, the heart of Sorare and the moment I'm going to stop playing is when I stop having fun.
Yeah.
Because
It's
when I was flipping, I was having no fun. But like SO5 and making teams and owning these guys and trying to buy a guy early, trying to get my Teddy Teuma, like that to me is exhilarating, and like
yeah.
that's what I love about this. So maybe
It's
I'll get it for baseball. I don't know right now.
it's
No.
funny because we're kind of in the opposite camp where like my football guys, it's just like, please just start and just
Right.
give me a threshold. And
You're just
like,
annoyed by it. You don't
yeah,
even want to grind it. You don't want to go to a
no,
server data and grind out the week or
no,
look for news, which I'm
no.
loving, and vice versa. I don't want to do that for baseball.
Yeah, that's
You give
funny.
me your projections, I don't open them up.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, I have to click that button and then remember who's in my gallery
it's fun.
versus,
I kind of talked about that. I did Sorare in the States with
yeah, I gotta listen.
Chris and Trippin, and we talked about that. And I brought up specifically how like I really enjoy pouring through data and the numbers, and you seem to really enjoy finding the news and figuring it out, like not anecdotally, but like I I I I try not to describe you as a feel guy because I know there's way
More
more
feel.
thought in it than that. But I mean, it's the same sort of thing. Like it's an informed decision, but
Yeah,
you go with what was it?
intuition maybe.
IKB? Is it I know
Yeah, I know
better?
better. I know better.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, I'm. By the way, I'm like the most I know better guy ever, and I don't
right.
know better most of the time. But no, I like so it's just I know we're gonna go over, but it's actually really funny. So I'm gonna give you like the most random example of a guy. I don't know. I can't even figure out his name. It's like Albert Ascarella or something. He's a center mid for the Houston Dynamo. Okay. I
Yeah.
just randomly in a 2 week period watched 2 Dynamo games, and this dude is just destroying everybody. Like best guy on the pitch, like every single
Karaskia?
I think
Does
so,
that sound
yeah.
right?
He has
Yeah.
big hair, so he's like really hard to miss too. And he's just dominating everybody. And I'm like, I gotta go pick this guy up. Like he's so good. And I go on and his scores are terrible. And I'm like, did I search the right guy? And now all of a sudden his scores are showing. So, but like I overthought it because I knew he was like dominating the game. And like to me, he was like one of the best guys on the pitch, but his scores weren't there yet. Anyhow, I do think that ultimately sometimes data can lie. Like that,
Yeah.
or
Like,
like if you want to be early on a guy, a lot of times, possibly in baseball, I'm wrong on this. I'm assuming if you're early on a guy, the data is actually starting to show like this guy is better than people think he is in baseball.
yeah, probably.
It's not really eye test versus football. It's like, man, like he hit the post 3 times in the last like 3 games. He's getting in all these spots. He's dominating everybody, but he's just missing the end product, or he's just
Yeah.
one little thing's
Which
going
you
wrong.
can't quantify at all with data is the
Right.
like you
Sometimes it
can
is good to have. So I mean, I think again, that's just really cool, right? Like we were just
yeah.
saying, there is you can have like a feel person can do it their way, and I do think, by the way, NBA really, if you ultimately know the rotations, the usages, I think is a
Mhm.
big thing, which is a data number, but you also don't need to know the data to know that, in my example, Darius Garland's out, Donovan Mitchell's going to soak up a ton. Like, The data is going to say that, and I can also say that before even looking at the data. But I
Right.
think there's just going to be such a huge edge there, Hoop. Like,
Yeah.
if you're ahead of that, or Jared Allen's, I'm going to keep going cap. Jared Allen's out. Evan Mobley is about to explode. He's going to play 5, can play 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He's Jared Allen get what 12 to 14 boards a game. Mobley's going to take at least 5 of those, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
So
probably gonna ride your edge on that because I.
we will IKB everybody.
That's
We
fine.
will.
That's fine. I mean, I know I'll play it. I love basketball too much to
Yeah,
not play
you have
it,
no chance. You have no chance
but
to not play.
I just
I
I might be.
refuse.
I'm gonna have to ride common for a while. So
That's okay. Grind it out. Last thing
hopefully I don't screw it up like I did MLB and where I took a pitcher and then I'm
I was gonna say,
dude, I'm
Sorare
tier four.
MLB
I'm tier four every week. It's awful. My brothers
for
won like
common
4 limiteds in common, yeah. My brothers won 4 limiteds, and the people who win limiteds in common MLB seem to like continually win limiteds because they like got really good teams.
well, I got top I think 23rd in
Hmm.
the first ever one.
Yeah,
And they tried to hook me. I got like a Nestor
yeah,
Cortez.
yeah. Nestor, yeah,
It's never even that was like I just didn't catch the edge. The moral of the scenario for this whole thing to me is like just find fun. Because if
yeah.
you can find
It
fun,
is.
then you're gonna pay enough attention
Yeah.
to the sport. And there's a huge delineation. Like I think the biggest gap in Sorare between the people that are struggling and the people that do well is actually not just money. Obviously, that's a big deal, but it's paying attention and having fun.
Yeah. I agree. I
All
agree.
right, dude.
Because yeah, yeah. Football,
As
football can
as
be
as
not
we're
fun.
ending the day, hold on here, Landon. You want to say hi? All
What's up,
right.
buddy?
He made it almost the whole episode without interrupting. So anyhow, let's call it at that moment. Hoop. Stay safe. I think we're out of the worst of it. So stay safe. Enjoy the week. Feel better.
You too, brother.
Oh, do
Thank you.
here real quick. Do you want any final plug? Do first pitch
Oh yeah,
plugs.
you just got to make sure you're following the account or following the YouTube page for the Kyle Schwarber giveaway, and then I'll be back tomorrow to talk about Sorare's playoff baseball announcements.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, man. Take care.